All right, so onboarding and applicant tracking within isolved. So everyone's having a hard time recruiting employees for sure. We have a great tool within isolved called isolved Hire, which is an applicant tracking system, allows you to post jobs online and so forth here. Let's, oops, we lost our screen share, I think. Perfect. And within isolved Hire, you can post jobs online. You can review applicants, manage the whole process, and so forth from there. Once you've made a job offer right through isolved Hire, you can go through and kick off employee onboarding. And what we're going to look at what new hire onboarding looks like. So that will be key here coming right up. We're going to go through the whole onboarding process. We're going to talk really quickly about employee offboarding. That's kind of new and exciting, something a little different, and we'll kind of give a full demo of everything. So I am going to share my other screen here. Let's look at this. So we're going to log into isolved Hire to start. Within isolved Hire, you can go in and post all of your jobs right online. We're looking at our demo company, so not a whole lot of data in here, but we've got some bones in there. We'll show you what that looks like. When you post jobs online, you will have a fully integrated template to put on your website. So all your job postings will be posted live on your website. You don't have to worry about posting them in multiple locations. Also with isolved Hire, you'll see this. You can go through and you can post jobs to multiple job boards. So Indeed, Monster, all of those different types of job boards. If you want to cross-post them, you can do that as well. And again, if someone logs in and applies on any of those pages, those will all come back into isolved Hire. So we have just one job posted here. Prospects can sign up for job alerts. So anytime that you are posting a job, that will show up there. If we wanted to look at our server position here, they could come in here, look at the whole job description that you may have, and then they can apply for this job. So let's just go in here. Okay, and this is my work number. I do not want to be contacted by text message, but you can do that as well. And then go in here, apply for this. You can require that they apply with a resume or not. I'm just going to hit no on that. It's going to go through and ask them a few more questions. All that information out. And it'll ask any more information. Please take a minute to confirm, save. Yep, that's fine. And it's going to ask you to set something up here. That way they can log back in going later. So it will walk them through any questions that you may have and so forth as it's going. You can build all of these questions into your process and kind of go straight through there. Once you get logged in, you'll have an admin side of things. We can go to our dashboard. There's a lot of great analytics in here. As you start using this, you'll see what those analytics look like. Lots of different hiring metrics, who's been interviewed, what jobs are open, what jobs are closed, and so forth. We can go to our applicant screen. And again, I didn't go through that whole process because it does take a few minutes, but you can manage the applicant flow all the way through here. You can go in here, mark people as qualified or unqualified. You can set up your managers in the system so that managers have the ability to come review, comment, and so forth. You can add an applicant in here after the fact. So if you have an offline applicant, you can continue to track those in here as well. So that's nice to do and manage the whole process through here. Let's look at what a job listing looks like. We talked about some of those job questions, it goes through that process. Let's look at a job listing. And if I want to create a new job listing, I'm going to just create a brand new job from scratch. And this will allow me to build a job. So if I want to do a current offering, we do have to create a title, right? So let's just call this, line cook. We're in a lot of different opportunities here. So, and I'm going to just fill this out really quickly. Description in there. If you wanted to embed a video, you could do that. If you wanted to put a full job description, you could do that as well. All that stuff is available. You can post your job, start dates, end dates, and so forth. Rates of pay, you can put that in here. So that will show what benefits you have listed or available. You want to put that on there as well. We do have to put full-time or part-time. If you wanted to put a department in there, you can put a department in there. If it's remote or temporarily remote, or if they have flexibility, you can put that as well. We'll leave that blank. In this one, our classifications, we can set different departments and classifications up. We can do notifications in here. So if we want a specific person notified of that, we can do that. And we can go ahead and set up job question groups if we want in there as well. We can also put in certain questions and things like that that are in here. We put a location in there and we hit save and proceed. Now it will allow us to share this on our social media. We can come in here and get that set up. We can share it across all of our social medias. We can post these on Facebook, on Craigslist, and so forth from within here. We can generate a direct job link for there. We can also go on to job ads. We can do job board settings. This is where you come in here and put push out to different job boards. So we have all the different job boards are listed here. Indeed, CareerJet, Job, whatever you want to put, ZipRecruiter, whatever you want to put in here, you can push these out onto those. You can do all or none or any of them as well. I'm not going to do any at this point, but we can click into each of these jobs. We can see who may have applied in here, which is nobody at this point. We can go in and we can add an applicant. Remember, I said we could add someone offline, so we could put that in there and track them through the process. I'm going to just try to do this really quick so that we can go through what that looks like. Let's see if it just lets me add this. It did, perfect. So we have our manually added position. So we can click into this applicant. If they've uploaded their resume and so forth, we will see their employment history, education, resume, all that stuff that may have been added in here. We can see the timeline of who has done what. So if you've gone through and you have multiple people in here, you can see who may have adjusted or added things in here. You can integrate with backgrounds and drug screening in here if you'd like. We can also do forms and things like that that are in here. You can send messages straight in and out of here. You can create templates for job offers or meeting requests. So many different things, and there's a lot of demo templates in there, but you can customize those as well. And we can keep our status in here, right? So we have all these statuses in here that we said, okay, we've scheduled an in-person interview, right? And then you can rate this person. We can say this, I think, is a 4-star, person, and you can keep track of that. And that will show everybody that's rated it, right? So if you have multiple people that have rated this person, you have multiple supervisors or managers that have done that, you can go in and rate. They can all show that. They can all rate that. They can all put notes in there. You can add tags and so forth, and that's in there. We can do our EEO application and checklist for this. So much more stuff in here. We can attach documents. Lots of neat things in here. Once we've finished this, we can go ahead and we can offer this employee the job. Once we've offered them the job, they can go in and they've accepted it. You can fill in any paperwork that you want or any job offer templates that you want. All that can be customized within the system to help you manage that process. Like I said, once it's been kicked off, it will automatically fire off an onboarding email to this person. So you don't have to go in and add them into isolved if you don't want to, which is really nice. It's going to automatically flow over. We'll save you a step. I'm going to just really quickly show you what it looks like within isolved to kick off onboarding manually. So you do not have to use both isolved Hire and isolved Onboarding for the same purposes. You can use them completely independently. We have a lot of clients that just use onboarding and don't use Hire. So I'm going to go into our demo company here in isolved, and we're going to go to Employee Admin Tools and initiate onboarding. So basically you select your company, we select our work location. This is our demo company, so it's in California. Our template, we can put in our information, birth date, social. Hire date is really important. Obviously that's important for benefits and so forth. You can do a future date, you can do a previous date, whatever you want. We can select if you're using departments or locations or anything like that. Any sort of tracking, you put those in there. If you're using managers within the system, you can put their manager in there and you just hit send. Once you hit send, I'm going to log out of here. The employee is going to get an email. Now, if you were within isolved Hire, once you offered them that job, they accepted that job, this email would automatically get fired off and they could go in and start the onboarding process, which is what we're going to do right now. If you send it manually, like we just did as well, you can come in here, they'll get the same email, it will kick them off, okay? I am going to go fill this out. So we create our new user. My hero is Snoopy, I don't know who that's going to be there. And I'm not going to put a phone number in there, we'll just hit continue. The nice thing about this is this kicks off the entire onboarding process. The employee will be able to fill out all of their new hire paperwork. They'll be able to fill out any handbooks that you may have or review any important documents that you may need them to review. This will file everything. They'll fill out their direct deposit, their W-4, their I-9. Everything will go in here and it'll eventually be stored electronically. So all the paperwork that you have for your new hires today can be done as an electronic process. We can customize this in any way, shape, or form that you like. Literally, they just kind of go through the onboarding wizard. I'm going to click next here. And this will also set up their access to isolved going forward. So once they've gone through and they've processed this, as soon as you've accepted it, the employee is ready to begin punching in and punching out, begin looking at their pay stubs, begin going into isolved and getting all that information that they already have as an employee. So it's really a seamless process here. So I'll go through and just fill this out. Next. We can add or remove fields. We can make fields required. So if you wanted to require a phone number, for example, or marital status, birth dates, we can basically do any single customizations that you want here on here. In this demo, we don't have a whole lot of required fields, but you can customize and require these as well. You can also put miscellaneous fields in here. You can put educational history or job history if you wanted. Lots and lots and lots of information here. So I'm going to actually go back here because I need to make a note of what the social and the birthday is on this employee, because it does have to match exactly or my I-9 verification will fail. So that is a nice fail safe here. Just make a note here. So it does have to match all the way through, it'll error out. So here's our last name, employee, first name is Test, birth date, your number. We can make them put their email in there. We can put all that stuff in there. You can attest to this. I'm a citizen of the United States. Let's look at signature. And we can validate, okay? Other last names used. Something in there. So it's telling me my signature because I put a middle initial in there. Needs to have that in there. I'm acknowledging that I've completed my I-9 verification. Once we go through the process, there is an I-9 verification form for the manager, and you can go through and upload all of the documents that are required. We'll show you that once we get to that side of things. We're going to hit next. This is going to ask me now to complete my withholding preferences, and this will walk you through the W-4 for federal and state. So I'm going to go ahead and hit federal. I want to continue in English, right? It's going to start my federal W-4. Am I a non-resident alien? No. Are you exempt? You are not exempt. Most people are not exempt. Select your filing status. I'll just put single. So this is when we look at the new W-4. These are the additional questions on the new W-4. 98% of employees do not need to use any of these other items here. We're just going to hit none of the above. We'll hit next. I do not want to claim any dependents. Would you like to create step 4, which is other adjustments? No. And we're going to look at this, enter the last 4 digits of my social and hit submit. So here's my federal W-4 test employee. This is what my W-4 looks like. I filed that out, no adjustments. It's signed electronically here. Okay. I'm going to hit continue to go to my next one. I'm going to look at my main ones. So I do not want to claim any personal allowances. So I'm just going to hit next. We'll hit start. Same thing, not a non-resident alien. Click next. I am not exempt and I want main tax withheld, so that's important. So we'll enter 1 for myself if nobody else, and then it goes through and it asks you all the questions about what have you entered in here. If you want any additional tax taken out, you can put that in here as well, and I'm just going to hit next as well. So it's going to say it thinks I should claim 1, and we're going to put 1 in there. Hit next. Same thing. I'm going to go in here, put my PIN in here, submit my form. Same thing. It fills out the main W-4 in here. So this is on file. And we're going to do California. We're going to run through this really quickly because that's not applicable. Same thing. And now we're going to finish our tax information. So that's all done. And we're going to hit next. Now it's going to require us to add a direct deposit. So we'll go in there. The employee can add their direct deposit, do a checking account. I want my whole check to go into this account. Right. Continue and hit next. We do have an employee handbook that's been uploaded that they have to review. It's going to pop up here. Here's my handbook, old handbook. Once I've reviewed it, I can hit acknowledge, and I'm electronically acknowledging that I've reviewed that handbook, and that electronic signatures will stay on file. You can also ask them to upload any other documents. So if they had a certification, or you wanted them to upload their resume or copies of their I-9 stuff, you could do that as well. All that can be uploaded here as well for the employee. So next here. So supporting documents, I didn't click something on that screen correctly. I acknowledge that. What am I missing? Upload something here. I might have required that they upload something. That's exactly what I did. I required that they needed to upload something in this demo. That's why. And we'll hit next. And now we're going to go ahead and hit submit. So now our employee has gone through the entire process of onboarding. We see a lot of clients have the same problems with online onboarding that they have with paper onboarding. People don't understand a direct deposit. They may not understand their W-4. They have no idea what an I-9 is. So we do have a lot of folks that may bring the new employees into the office and have them complete this in front of them and help them walk through that process, right? A lot of the folks that, again, you have the same problems on paper as you do on electronic onboarding. So now this employee is done. The manager or the company admin has gotten an email that said it's ready to go. And I'm going to log in back as my admin. And now we can go to Employee Admin Tools, Employee Administration. And if we go to the Pending Employee Dashboard, we have all of our test employees here. So we can see who's completed, who's ready to go, and what our statuses are. So we know that my test employee here is done and ready to go. Once I can either delete this or I can add this back in. I can come into my quick hire, take exactly the information that I just put in. Now I want to verify that everything that they've put in is correct. I need to put my rate of pay in here. This is, I think, the wrong test employee. Let's go to this one. Here we go. So everything they've put in here is flowing through. They put that single status in here. We had all that in here. We had the address in here. We do have to put their hourly rate in here, but the direct deposit information has flown all through down at the bottom, and we can just hit save here. Oh, it is requiring me to put an employment category in here. We'll hit save. What else we got here? Missed a few. And save. So now our new employee is set up in the system, ready to go. Everything is all ready to go as a live employee. I will show you, we do have the employer I-9 verification. We can go through, they filled out the first part, and we now need to go in and certify that we've reviewed their documents, right? Just like on a paper I-9, we want to come in here and we're going to say I-9, what did we get? We get their passport. It's from the Department of State. Here's their passport number. And the expiration date is this. We can put a description and we can upload a copy. Description exists, that must be attached. Yep. So we can upload a copy of what we scan in, right? So because it's a passport, we don't have to do anything separate. The system knows that. If I change this to my license, for example, you may have to have two forms of identification. But in this situation, you don't have to. One second. You would then come in and certify as the employer that you've reviewed this. Puts our company information in there, and I'm going to verify and save. I'm attesting as the employer that I have saved this and I've verified my I-9. When I go to employee document storage under human resources, now under employee documents, I have a copy of all those documents that we just filled out, right? So we have the W-4s that they filled out electronically. Those are all in here. Those are stored electronically. We have the I-9. Here's the I-9 along with all of the documents that we uploaded on that. So here's that information all filled out, stored. So if you ever have an employee file audit, for example, you have all of that information stored electronically in the system here. So it's really nice that those are in here as well. You can always add new documents in the system. So if you wanted to have a fully electronic employee file, you can do that for sure as well. So the last thing we want to look at is terminating and offboarding clients, or employee, excuse me. So if we looked at an employee, we can come in here. Now we want to terminate this employee. We come in here, we hit terminate. We can use an offboarding platform, basically, that will run through an entire process and make sure that if there's any company property that's been issued, you turn that, they get that turned in. We can come in and make sure that any benefits are terminated. We can turn off direct deposit. We can do any final accrual balance reviews, things like that. That's all available from an automated perspective. We don't have a whole lot of time here. We like to kind of keep things half an hour, but there is an offboarding feature as well that allows you to go through that. You can push questions to supervisors if they need to be pushed through supervisors for different reasons. Again, for maybe you need IT to look at something, you need their supervisor to look at something. You can create a whole workflow to offboard employees. So really neat there as well to make sure that everything, all the boxes get checked within your internal team when you're getting rid of an employer, when someone leaves the company. So that's a really, really, really quick overview of all of applicant tracking, onboarding, offboarding, all of that kind of stuff. Certainly, we're happy to chat with anybody specifically about these particular products. Lots and lots and lots of information, certainly about that. Lots more to get into as well. I would remind you to have your employees use My HR Stuff. All of this is available on that. They can view their pay stubs, W-2s. They can update their direct deposits, contact information. If you're using timekeeping, they can punch in and punch out. They can enroll in benefits if we're using benefits enrollment. And new, we can now submit expense reimbursements. That's one of our new products. If you need folks to be doing expense reimbursements, we can do that, and so forth. So I will open the floor up to questions. If there's any questions, feel free to use the chat or the Q&A. We can certainly answer any questions that you have. Next month, our training is on expense management, the new product. So certainly sign up for that if you haven't already. And I will leave things open to questions. I'm not seeing any questions jumping out here, but always feel free to email us, email your payroll processor, email me. We're happy to chat and answer any questions that we want. Okay, we do have a question. Can direct deposit be shut off if the staff wants a paper check? Yes, you do not have to require direct deposit within onboarding. However, we strongly encourage that for many reasons. Checks get lost, checks get stolen, the mail does not get there. We really encourage direct deposit for everybody, and especially if you're going to go a paperless route like this, I would encourage you to stay paperless all through. So, can you set up alerts to go to certain managers if documents or steps have not been completed? So it wouldn't necessarily go to a certain manager, but the employee would not be able to continue if we have those turned on. So you could see as we went through that process, it wouldn't let me move on because I hadn't uploaded a document. So that is one of the safeguards and requirements that we can put in there for sure. And there are tools within isolved. I'll show you really quickly. Let's go back to within isolved here. We now have under employee analytics, we can go to this documents on file wizard basically, and we can come in here and say, I want to see a certain category of document. Let's just look at I-9. I want to see employee I-9 for my active. So this will tell me we have I-9s on file for these employees, right? I want to see the ones that do not have it. These employees, we do not have an I-9 on file. So that's really nice to be able to go in there and see what you may have and may not have on file for documents if you're trying to do a file review. That's really fun too. So we can go through a full I-9 audit here and make sure that we've gone through and completed that I-9 verification in here as well. So other questions? I don't see any here, but for sure, feel free to reach out. We're happy to go through anything more specific. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out. Otherwise, we will talk to you very soon. Hopefully sign up for next month's expense management training. Thanks very much, everybody, and have a great afternoon.